AITA for canceling my wedding and watching my entire life fall apart. I am Connor Ellis, 29 years old. I work in healthcare at a city hospital in Chicago. I was with Rachel for 3 years. She is a teacher, beautiful, smart, and up until February I thought we were solid. We got engaged in October of last year. We started planning the wedding for this summer. Everything seemed perfect. Then February came, and she simply changed. She started being glued to her phone constantly. She would take calls in another room. She would get defensive when I asked her simple questions like, "How was your day?" She stayed up late, sending messages after I went to sleep. The warmth between us simply evaporated. I told myself I was being paranoid. Work stress, wedding planning stress, pre-wedding jitters, maybe. I convinced myself to trust her. I even took extra shifts at the hospital to save more for our honeymoon in Greece. I wanted to give her the best trip possible. Last week she suggested we go to that Italian place downtown. Quiet, romantic, our spot from when we first started dating. I thought maybe she wanted to reconnect, to work on that wall that had grown between us. We ordered wine, made casual conversation. Then, halfway through the appetizer, she put down her fork and said, "We need to talk about something." My stomach dropped, but I nodded and she said, "I have been talking to Sebastian again." Sebastian, her college boyfriend, the guy she had mentioned maybe twice in 3 years, always dismissively, as if he were a closed chapter. "Okay," I said slowly. "What do you mean by talking?" She took a deep breath. "We reconnected on Instagram in January. We started messaging, then phone calls. And Connor, I have to be honest with you because you deserve it. The feelings are coming back." I just stared at her. The restaurant noise faded into white static. She continued, "What Sebastian and I had was intense, passionate like fire, and with you it is different. You are safe, you are reliable, but it is shallow, Connor, like a kiddie pool. I need depth." A kiddie pool. I repeated the words in my head, trying to process them. "I am not trying to hurt you. You are a good man. You would be a great husband to someone. But I think we got engaged because it was convenient, because we made sense on paper, not because I could not live without you." My hands were shaking. I grabbed my wine glass to steady them. "So, you have been reconnecting with him in a way that crossed serious boundaries in our relationship for 3 months while I worked overtime to pay for our honeymoon. It is not the same as crossing a line if we are just talking. Are you serious?" My voice came out louder than I intended. A couple at the next table turned to look. "We are engaged, Rachel. We have a wedding planned. And you are telling me that I am convenient, boring. I am being honest. Is not that what you would want?" Something snapped. The fog of shock lifted and pure anger replaced it. I stood up, took out my wallet, threw down enough cash to cover the meal and a generous tip. "You are right," I said. "You deserve someone exciting, someone who gives you that fire. So go and be with Sebastian. I am done. Connor, wait. I want you moved out of my apartment by the weekend. I will stay at my brother's house until you are gone." I walked out. I did not look back. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, just breathing, trying to process what had happened. Then I drove to my brother's house and told him everything. That night, I could not sleep. By 3 in the morning, I was on my laptop. I closed our joint savings account. I transferred my half. I changed passwords on everything. Netflix, Spotify, utilities, everything. I sent her a message. "I want the ring back by tomorrow. Leave it with the landlord." She tried to call. She sent messages begging to talk. I ignored everything. My family found out the next day. Mom cried. Dad was furious. He wanted to call Rachel's parents and give them a piece of his mind. My sister Haley just hugged me and said, "You dodged a bullet." Rachel's mom called me 3 days later, sobbing, begging me to forgive her daughter. She made a mistake. She is confused. Please do not throw 3 years away. I told her gently but firmly that Rachel made her choice clear. She chose nostalgia and excitement over our relationship. That is not confusion, that is a decision. I started calling vendors. I lost the venue deposit, $3,200. Catering cancellation fee, $1,000. Partial payment to the photographer, $1,500. Florist, DJ. Invitations already printed. In total, I lost around $8,400. It was worth every penny to not marry someone who sees me as a backup plan. Friends started reaching out to me. Some already knew through mutual connections. Others were in shock. Some asked if I was sure I was not overreacting. She told me I am boring and that she has feelings for her ex more. I said, What exactly am I overreacting to? What exactly am I overreacting to? That shut them up fast. 2 weeks after everything blew up, Haley called me at 11 in the evening. Have you seen Instagram? No, I told her. Well, other people are seeing it and sending me screenshots. You need to see it. I opened it through a browser without logging in. There it was, posted 4 hours earlier. A sunset photo with her silhouette, arms raised like some kind of spiritual awakening. The caption, sometimes you have to choose yourself. Settling for less than you deserve is not love, it is fear. I am done living small. I am done dimming my light for someone else's comfort. Growing means leaving behind what no longer serves you. It is scary, but necessary. Here is to choosing passion over comfort, depth over shallow waters, and authenticity over convenience. I read it 3 times. Feeling my blood pressure rise with every pass, she had flipped the whole narrative. She made it sound like she was a brave soul breaking free from my suffocating mediocrity. Like I was the one holding her back from her full potential, as if leaving me was an act of self-love and bravery, not betrayal and selfishness. The comments were mixed. Her single friends, so proud of you. You deserve everything. Real queens do not settle. But then there were others, people who knew us both. Interesting perspective. I hope Sebastian is worth it. Funny how you did not mention your fiancé in this empowerment post. One of my co-workers, God bless her, commented, maybe next time do not frame crossing boundaries as self-actualization. Some of us know the real story. Rachel deleted that comment in minutes. My finger hovered over the reply button. I wanted to destroy her. I wanted to comment, how nice that my broken heart and $8,400 in lost deposits contributed to your journey of self-discovery. I wanted to take screenshots of our message history, her begging texts, her mother's desperate phone calls, and expose the truth. But I did not. Haley sent me a message. Do not do it. Do not give her what she wants. Which is a reaction. Any reaction. She is trying to control the story because she knows what she did was indefensible. She is playing the hero. If you reply, you play into her game. A few days later, I was immersed in work. Work became my sanctuary. I took double shifts. I volunteered for the worst shifts that no one wanted. Anything to keep myself busy. My supervisor noticed. Connor, you are destroying yourself. I am fine. No, you are not. You are working 60 hours a week. When was the last time you took a day off? I could not remember. At home, I forced myself to go to the gym. I lifted weights until my muscles screamed. I ran until my lungs burned. Anything to exhaust myself enough to sleep, because when I stopped moving, when I was alone with my thoughts, that is when it hit me. But right now all I feel is numbness, and beneath that numbness, a feeling of relief is slowly rising. This blew up. Thank you for all the support. To answer some common questions. Yes, I am sure she was reconnecting inappropriately and developing feelings for her ex at a minimum. No, I have not spoken to her since that night. Yes, I am in therapy and I do not regret my decision. I will update if anything significant happens. Update 1. 6 weeks later. I never thought I would be back, but you guys were so supportive last time and things have developed significantly. First of all, I am doing much better than I expected. Those first 2 weeks were brutal, I am not going to lie. But once I got past the initial shock and grief, something changed. I started to see my situation clearly for the first time in months. I threw myself into work. I took extra shifts, but this time for me, not for some honeymoon that was never going to happen. I started going to the gym with my brother 4 times a week. I reconnected with friends I had been neglecting. I took that pottery class Haley kept telling me to take. Turns out I am terrible at pottery, but it is fun, and I have been talking to someone. Sophia, one of the nurses in my department. We have worked together for about a year, but never really hung out outside the hospital. She heard through the gossip what happened and asked me how I was doing. Just casual at first, things like, hey, are you okay? Then she invited me to her friend's birthday gathering. Casual get-together at a bar, nothing intense. I almost did not go, but Haley pushed me out the door. You need to be around people who are not your family. Sophia is different. No drama, no games, no weird vibes. She listens when I talk. Truly listens. She does not just wait for her turn to speak. She is independent. She has her own life. She does not need constant validation. After months of Rachel's emotional roller coaster, Sophia feels like solid ground. We have been hanging out more. Nothing official yet. Just coffee here, lunch there, long conversations after late shifts. She makes me laugh. I had forgotten what that felt like. Now the absolute bombshell. 3 days ago, my friend Jason sends me a message. Dude, did you hear about Rachel? My heart rate spiked. I almost did not want to know, but curiosity won. Sebastian left her. He did not just leave her. Apparently, he told her after 6 weeks that it was just nostalgia and he was not feeling it anymore. He said rekindling old flames sounded romantic in theory, but the reality was disappointing. He was not looking for anything serious. He just got carried away by memories that did not match the current reality. He blocked her number after she kept calling and messaging, trying to make him reconsider. 6 weeks. She destroyed her entire life, ruined our relationship, burned $8,400 of my money, humiliated herself and me publicly, and it lasted 6 weeks before he got bored. I'm not going to lie, part of me felt vindicated, the petty part. But mostly I just felt sad. Sad that she threw away something real for a fantasy. Sad that she had to learn this lesson the hard way. Rachel tried to contact a mutual friend, Taylor, who rejected her immediately. Then she tried to call from a number I did not recognize. I saw the voicemail notification, but I deleted it without listening. 2 days ago, she made a Facebook post, a long and rambling thing about true love and not appreciating what you have until it is gone. And sometimes the grass is not greener. The comments were brutal. People who knew what happened confronted her. Maybe do not cross boundaries with your fiancé next time. Actions have consequences. This is manipulative. She deleted it within hours. My brother saw her at the supermarket yesterday. He said she looked bad. Messy hair, no makeup, just wandering the aisles looking lost. When she saw him, she tried to approach, but he just shook his head and walked away. Part of me wants to feel sorry for her. We spent 3 years together. I loved her once, or thought I did. But then I remember her face across that table telling me I was convenient and shallow, and the sympathy evaporates. I dodged a nuclear bomb, not just a bullet. Meanwhile, Sophia sent me a message this morning. Want to try that new taco place on Saturday? Simple, no drama. Just 2 people enjoying each other's company. Yes, I'm going to be fine. Thanks again for all the support. Some of you asked if I feel bad for Rachel. Honestly, not really. She is an adult who made decisions. Those decisions have consequences. That is life. Update. 2 or 3 months later. Life has genuinely improved. Not just keeping myself busy so I do not think about it better. Truly authentically better. Sophia and I are officially together. We have been that way for about 6 weeks. It is nothing like what I had with Rachel. There is no constant analysis of where we stand. No games. No doubting if she is losing interest. She is simply present. We communicate. When something bothers her, she says it. When I am stressed, she listens without making it about her. With Rachel, I was constantly trying to decode her moods. A short message meant she was upset. No emoji meant I had done something wrong. If she went quiet for an hour, I mentally cataloged everything I had said that day, trying to figure out what I had ruined. Every conversation felt like navigating a minefield blindfolded. With Sophia, last Tuesday, I sent her a message. Running late, stuck at the hospital. She replied, no problem. I will bring Thai or Mexican food. That is it. No passive-aggressive, like, how nice to have time for work, but not for me. No guilt trip, just understanding. We were watching a movie at her place last week when she paused it halfway through. Can I tell you something without you getting defensive? My stomach tightened. Old reflex from Rachel doing this before launching into an hour-long critique of my character flaws. Sure, I said carefully. When you talk about work stuff, you apologize constantly. Sorry, this is probably boring. Sorry, I am talking too much. You do not need to do that with me. I like hearing about your day. That was it. No hidden agenda, no bracing for an argument. Just honest communication because she noticed a pattern and wanted me to feel comfortable. Rachel used to zone out when I talked about the hospital. I said, I am not Rachel. 3 words, but they hit different. She does not play games. When she wants to see me, she says so. When she needs space, she tells me directly, hey, I need tonight to decompress by myself. How about tomorrow? No tests, no expecting me to read her mind, no punishment for not magically knowing what she needs. My family adores her. Mom keeps dropping hints about not letting this one get away, which is embarrassing but also kind of sweet. Dad invited her to his birthday dinner last week. Haley and she are already planning a girls' trip to the coast. I feel at peace. That is the word, at peace, which made what happened last week even more shocking. It was my 30th birthday. The family came to my place for dinner and cake. Nothing fancy, just the people I love most. Sophia was there laughing with Haley about something, helping Mom set the table. The doorbell rings at 7 in the evening. I thought someone had forgotten something in their car. I opened the door. Rachel standing there with a wrapped gift, hair done, perfect makeup, wearing that blue dress I always said I loved. Happy birthday, Connor. I just stared at her. Can I come in for just a minute? No. I brought you a gift. Your favorite whiskey. Rachel, what are you doing here? She smiled as if we were old friends catching up. It is your birthday. I wanted to see you. I think we should talk. There is nothing to talk about. Connor, please. I know I said things I did not mean. I was scared of the wedding and I panicked, but I have had time to think and... The door opened wider. Sophia came into view, placing her hand gently on my shoulder. Everything okay? Rachel's face crumbled. The confident mask shattered. Who is this? This is Sophia, I said calmly. My girlfriend. Girlfriend. She said it as if the word were poison. You moved on. It has been 4 months, Rachel. For months, and you are already parading someone new around. I thought what we had meant something. Sophia squeezed my shoulder. She started to take a step back inside. I will give you a minute. No, stay. I turned to Rachel. You ended what we had in a restaurant in public after months of reconnecting inappropriately with someone else. You told me I was boring and convenient. You chose Sebastian, so I moved on. That is what adults do. I was confused. I did not mean those things. Yes, you did. And even if you had not, you said them. You cannot unsay them. Her voice rose in desperation. Now you did not fight for me. You just gave up. You threw away 3 years as if it meant nothing. No, I said firmly. You threw them away. I just accepted your decision. She looked at Sophia with pure venom. He was going to marry me. We were supposed to build a life together. And now you are just stepping into my place. Sophia stayed calm. I am not stepping into anything. Connor and I are building something new. What you had is over. Liar. You are a rebound, a replacement because he could not handle being alone. My dad appeared at the door. That is enough. Connor asked you to leave. Mr. Ellis, please, I just need. You need to leave, Dad said. His voice had that edge that meant business. Now joined by him. Rachel, go home. Rachel's eyes filled with real tears. Not manipulation this time. Connor, please. I made a mistake. Do you not think people deserve second chances? Some mistakes do not get second chances, I said quietly. You did not accidentally cross a line once. You had 3 months of choosing someone else over me. Every day you compared me to him and found me lacking. Those are not mistakes, those are decisions. She stood there, the mascara starting to run, the gift still clutched in her hands. I love you. No, you do not. You love the idea of not being alone. There is a difference. Finally, she turned and walked to her car. She left with her hand over her mouth crying. I closed the door. The house was silent. Then someone said, well, that was dramatic. Everyone laughed, the tension breaking. We went back to dinner. Sophia held my hand under the table. Mom gave me an extra slice of cake, but the story does not end there. Jason sent me a message 2 days ago with updates he had heard through mutual connections. Rachel had to move back in with her parents. Apparently, she could not afford her apartment alone on a teacher's salary. She took a leave of absence from work citing mental health reasons. She has been trying to reconnect with other ex-boyfriends, getting rejected or ignored. Sebastian told someone at a party that he dodged a bullet when he ended things. Word got back to her somehow. Apparently, she sent him angry messages before he blocked her on everything. I felt a weird mix of satisfaction and pity, but not enough pity to reconsider anything. Sophia and I found an apartment together. We signed the lease next week. It is smaller than my current place, but it is ours. Fresh start. No ghosts. My therapist asked if I had any lingering feelings for Rachel after the birthday incident. Honestly, I did not feel bad seeing her break down, but that is basic human empathy. What I felt for her died that night at the restaurant. Seeing her at my door only confirmed that I made the right decision. Life is good, really good. The kind of good I did not know was possible. People are asking if I think Rachel will keep trying to contact me. Probably. But I have blocked her on everything and told everyone close to me not to pass messages. At some point, she will have to accept reality. Edit 2. Someone asked what the gift was. I left it on the porch. She picked it up the next morning while I was at work. Honestly, I do not care what it was. Final update. Almost a year later. I am writing this from a hotel room in Asheville, North Carolina. It is 6 in the morning and I cannot sleep, but for once it is not anxiety or stress keeping me awake. It is the kind of awake you have when you are too happy to waste time sleeping. Sophia is next to me, curled up on her side, breathing slow and steady. Her left hand is resting on my chest, and there is an engagement ring on her finger that was not there 3 days ago. I keep looking at it, making sure it is real. That this is real, I proposed 2 nights ago. We had driven up here for a long weekend, her idea. Actually, let's get out of town, she said. Let's go somewhere we can hike, disconnect, just be. We found this trail to a waterfall about 30 minutes from our hotel. The woman at the visitor center said the overlook at the top had the best sunset view in the area. We started the hike around 4 in the afternoon, giving ourselves enough time. The ring had been in my jacket pocket for 3 weeks. I had bought it a month ago. I had been carrying it around like a talisman, waiting for the right moment. I kept second-guessing myself. Too soon. Not romantic enough. Should I plan something elaborate? But walking up that trail, Sophia ahead of me pointing out wildflowers and laughing when she almost slipped on loose rocks, I realized something. There was no wrong moment with her. Every moment was right. We reached the overlook around 5:30. The waterfall was to our left, cascading down maybe 60 feet into a pool below. The overlook itself was this flat rock formation jutting out over the valley, layered mountains in the distance like a painting. There were a few other hikers, but they filtered out when the sun started to lower. By 6 in the evening, it was just us. Sophia sat on the edge, legs dangling, taking pictures on her phone. The light was turning everything golden. Her hair, her skin, the rocks, the trees. She turned to me with this pure and unguarded smile. Come, sit with me. I did. We sat there watching the sun sink toward the ridgeline. Not speaking, just existing in that moment. She rested her head on my shoulder. Thank you for this. Why? For being you. For making me feel like I do not have to act or pretend or be anything other than exactly who I am. My heart was hammering. The ring felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds in my pocket. Sophia. Look at me for a second. She turned. Eyebrows raised, still smiling. Then she saw my face, and the smile changed. It became something softer, more knowing. I did not kneel. The rock ledge really did not allow it. And besides, that is not us. I just took the ring out of my jacket, held it between us, and said, I have spent the last year learning how love is supposed to feel, what it means to be chosen, not settled for, to be enough exactly as I am. You taught me that, and I want to spend the rest of my life choosing you back every day, without a doubt, without hesitation. Will you marry me? Her hand went to her mouth. Her eyes filled immediately. I mean instant tears. Yes. It came out choked. Yes. Oh God. Yes. I slid the ring onto her finger. Perfect fit. Thank God. And she threw her arms around my neck. So hard we almost fell backwards off the ledge. She was laughing and crying at the same time. Face buried in my shoulder. I cannot believe you did this, she said. For the first time I felt truly happy and at peace next to a girl who made me feel my beauty. She was the one who made me understand what true love is from both sides. It felt natural, easy, right? Everything my engagement to Rachel was not. There was no anxiety, no doubts. No wondering if I was making a mistake. Only certainty and joy. We called our families from the trailhead. Mom cried happy tears. Dad told Sophia, welcome to the family officially. Haley screamed so loud that I had to hold the phone away from my ear. That night we celebrated at the hotel restaurant. Champagne, steak, everything. We went back to the room and just held each other talking about the future. Kids maybe in a few years. Where would we live long term? Stupid details like whose coffee maker we would keep. And whether we would get a dog or a cat first. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number, text message. I almost ignored it, but something made me check it. It was long, very long, and I knew immediately it was from Rachel using someone else's phone. The summary, she was sorry. Sebastian was a fantasy, an illusion, a mistake that cost her everything real. Leaving me was the biggest regret of her life. She had spent months in therapy working on why she sabotaged our relationship. She understood now that she had commitment issues, fear of intimacy, childhood trauma she had never addressed. She had done the work. She was different. Now better she wanted one more chance to talk. Just talk. Let her apologize properly, face to face. She needed closure. We both deserved that. She had heard through mutual friends that I was seeing someone, but she did not know it was serious. Please, could I just meet her for a coffee? 1 hour, then she would never contact me again. She ended with, I lost the best thing that happened in my life because I was too stupid to see what I had. Do not make your new relationship a reaction to ours. Make sure you are choosing her, not just running away from me. I read it twice. Then I showed it to Sophia. She read it, handed the phone back to me. What do you want to do? Nothing. I do not owe her closure. She made decisions. I made decisions. That is the end of the story. Are you sure? Without any doubts. I looked at the ring on her finger. I thought about the last 10 months. The peace, the laughter, the absolute absence of drama or doubt. I am sure. I blocked the number. I deleted the message. This is what I have learned. Rachel taught me what I do not want in a partner. She taught me to recognize when someone is more in love with the idea of me than the reality. She taught me that words like safe and convenient are insults disguised as observations. But more importantly, she taught me what I do want. I want someone who chooses me every day, not just when her exciting option does not work. I want someone who sees stability as a strength, not a character flaw. I want someone who does not need to lose me to appreciate me. Sophia never compared me to anyone. She never made me feel like a backup plan or a consolation prize. She chose me when she had no obligation to do so, when I was broken and bitter and probably not good company. That is the difference between settling and choosing. Rachel did not settle for me. She used me as a placeholder until something shinier came along. When the shiny thing turned out to be cheap metal, she wanted her placeholder back. But I am not a placeholder. I am not Plan B. I am the enthusiastic first choice of someone, and that makes all the difference. To everyone who supported me on this journey, thank you. Seriously, reading your comments, your advice, your similar stories helped more than you know. This community gave me perspective when I was drowning in confusion and pain. Rachel, will she sort her life out or not? Either way, it is no longer my problem. I have a wedding to plan with someone who actually wants to marry me. Edit. Since people are asking, no, I will not respond to any more messages from Rachel directly or indirectly. Yes, I am incredibly happy. And yes, I absolutely made the right decision by walking away. Edit 2 to the person who sent me a private message saying I am cruel for not giving her closure. Closure is something you give yourself, not something others owe you. She had 365 days to process our breakup. That is enough time. Comment. Hey there. I really hope this one stayed with you the way it stayed with me. I want you to remember that protecting your self-respect is one of the strongest choices you'll ever make. Setting clear boundaries might feel uncomfortable at first, but it opens the door to real peace in your life. Taking responsibility for your own healing lets you move forward with a lighter heart and clearer mind. I encourage you to choose relationships that bring steady calm instead of constant uncertainty. Learning to value genuine kindness toward yourself changes how you show up every single day. Every time we pick stability over drama, we give ourselves the chance to grow into who we are meant to be. You deserve connections that feel safe and true, and trusting that truth makes all the difference. I'm so glad you're here with me on this channel because sharing these moments helps us all become a little stronger together. Keep choosing the kind of love that honors your worth and watch how your world begins to feel right. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.